Hey guys, welcome to the channel. You're watching Zazie K Creations, and on my channel I'm sharing my sewing journey. So if this is something that you are interested in, please like and subscribe. That way you are getting all of my content. I have been sewing for about 5, maybe going on 6 years now, and while I don't consider myself really a beginner sewist, I think I'm moving more into like advanced beginner. Because I've done some things that are like beyond like the basics at this point, but I still have some skills I need to tackle and learn. But anyway, I'm sharing my journey, and in today's video I am going to be starting my work on this simplicity pattern. It has been on my list of patterns to sew. I wanted to do a loungewear outfit, so I chose this pattern here. I've already done an alternative garment to this bralette, which I am sharing on my channel, so go back and find that video. And today I am going to work on the pants, and hopefully these pants will come together pretty quickly and easy, and I can then begin working on the cardigan. So in looking at the pattern instructions, I'm going to try to do this a little differently so you guys can see it better. So here we go. So it looks like this pattern for the pants comes with 13 steps in total. I do know there will be a few that I will likely not follow. But as I go through the pattern and read the instructions like word for word, I'll decide, what things I will likely not do. I do know, like, for instance, there is this slip stitch here that they recommend for closing out the casing. I did not think I was going to do that step, but looking at the diagram here, I probably will do a slip stitch just to make it clean, but I'll see. Probably at that point of the project, I will probably just like be in such a, not hurry, but be anxious to get it finished. I will probably just do another type of closing there, but we'll see when I get to that point. But yeah, so it has 13 steps to it, and I am going to go ahead and get started with step number 1. So the first instruction tells me to do my inseam on the left and right legs and do that with a 5/8 inch seam allowance. I'm going to go to my machine and do that now. So next, the instructions tell me to pin and sew the inner or the center seam front and back. You notice I have some extra pins here because sometimes when I'm sewing around the curve, I notice that the stitch line tends to get a little loosey-goosey, and I tend to lose some of the fabric there. So I just went to put some extra pins here just to secure it a little bit more as it goes through the sewing machine. So I'm going to go ahead and do this front and back center seam, and I believe it tells me I should also do a reinforcement seam. So I'm going to do one, and I'm going to go back and do another seam just to reinforce it. Okay, so next it tells me to sew or attach the pockets. So I have all 4 pocket pieces attached with right sides facing. So right side of the pocket facing the right side of the fabric. All 4 pieces, 2 for the front, 2 for the back. I'm going to go and stitch these on. It calls for a 3/8 inch seam allowance down the side, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, this time I'm going to make sure I pay closer attention to my notches once I'm ready to move on to the next step, because where these notches are is where I will start and begin sewing the actual pockets closed, if I think that's right. But yeah, I'm just going to pay a lot more attention this time to those notches and my pocket placement. That way I don't have the issues that I had in the last garment I did. I think it was the dress I did, something I did, and my pockets were off, and yeah. All right, so now I'm on to step 4, my understitch, so that when I finish off the pockets, they will stay inside the pocket, like they won't come out. The pockets will stay in at the very top where the seams are. So if I understand that correctly, I'm just going to do a straight seam or a zigzag seam all the way down here. Bring it up some more so you guys can see that. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably do like a 1/8 or 1/4 inch, maybe 1/8 inch from this original seam here. So yeah, let's see how that works out. Okay, so now I can check this off. I did the basting and clipping of the back seam allowance under the pocket. I pressed it out, and then I did the basting for the pocket, and I'm going to show you guys what that looked like. Let me see. Here we go. So this is what the basting looked like. So honestly, I will admit I messed up a little bit because I had the front and the backs together and then I basted. And then obviously when I tried to open it, it was really weird and it wouldn't open. So I had to unpick and start over and then just baste, you know, one side or one layer of the pants with the pocket. Okay. All right, so now we're going to put this to the side, and I am going to move over to the casing, and this looks like it's just going to be a simple casing matching of the notches. I'm leaving an opening. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get that done. All right, guys, so time got away from me yesterday, and we are into a new day, new evening, actually. And I did finish out the pants. They are hanging up on my board over there, as you can see, with the tank top. So now I am getting started on the cardigan. So let me get a little closer so you guys can see what I've gotten accomplished so far. I got my interfacing done for, what pieces were those? Piece number 4, which was the neckband facing, and I got it done for piece number 3, which is the front facing. I have those pieces done here. And over here, I've got the 2 front pieces cut out, ready to go. And now I am working on cutting out the back piece, and then I have the 2 sleeves, which is piece number 5. So I think I'm going to be able to get all of this cut out tonight. It's not late, it's just exactly 8 o'clock. So I'm not feeling really tired, but I am getting a little hungry. So I'm going to try to get these last pieces cut out, and then I'm going to see if I have the energy to start sewing tonight. I probably need to eat before I start sewing, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get the final 3 pieces cut, get something to eat, and then see how I feel about coming back up to finish out, not finish, but to get some actual sewing done tonight. All right, y'all, so all my pieces are cut. That chair right there, that's just a bunch of stuff that I need to work on some alterations for or upcycling. You guys might be able to see that black and white dress that I told you all I wanted to have my daughter cut and help me kind of upcycle. Well, yep, it's still in the chair, untouched. But anyway, on the chair are my fabric pieces. I normally hang them up, but I still got all the pattern pieces hanging up on the board here, so I haven't removed those yet. But yeah, so it took me about 30 minutes to get all of the pieces cut out. Actually, yeah, it took me 30 minutes to get all the pieces cut out for the cardigan, maybe a little over half an hour, maybe about 30, about maybe 40 minutes or so to get the pieces cut out. But yes, I think I'm done. What I don't like about my fabric is how it leaves these lines on my mat. So do you guys have any experience with this, when some of your fabrics leaving these lines on it, on your mats? I think when that happens, I probably need to think about investing in getting some new ones. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think about that. It is 8:30, so it looks like getting this started isn't bad. You know, attaching the front to the back. Looks like there's something to do with the neckband. Some clipping here. And some other steps. So not too much. I do think once I get around to step number 8, doing these buttons, I think that's step 8, doing the buttons, I may have to take a pause and look at my instructions for my baby lock to see how I should set up my machine to do my buttonholes. But because this is probably going to be a whole new set of activity tonight, you know, kind of going into the whole nother phase of actually constructing a garment, I think I'm going to call it a night. Because as we all know, when we start sewing, when we're tired and hungry and all those things, we tend to make mistakes, and I don't want to make no mistakes. I want to just, with a fresh mind, come back and start working on this. So I am going to heat up my dinner and catch an episode of Dateline. Yeah, I actually do love watching Dateline on Friday nights. So I'm going to watch Dateline, and I'm probably going to call it a night. So I will catch you all in the next video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you all then. God bless.